Hello and welcome to the weekly Forex Review here at xm.com. I'm Andreas, your EU currency analyst, and I'm here with my colleague Rafi Boyajan. So Rafi, it seems to be the case that Trump comments inducing dollar weakness is a recurring theme. This week, specifically midweek at a rally in Phoenix, Arizona, among others, he said that he's willing to shut down the government in order to follow through his campaign pledge of building a wall along the US-Mexico border. This, as I said, led to the dollar falling. However, later in the week, traders beat up the dollar as it seems they want to maintain a more neutral stance as the Jackson Hole Symposium of central bankers is taking place. What's your take on that?
That's right. There is a possibility that Yellen might be a little bit hawkish at the Jackson Hole, although nobody's expecting Yellen to give out any fresh policy messages in a speech. However, she may comment about inflation in the US. There are some concerns that the soft patch in the United States with inflation is not temporary, that it's not going to rebound anytime soon. We are seeing some split views within the Fed. We've already heard a couple of Fed speakers at the event. Kansas Fed President Esther George and Dallas Fed President Robert Kaplan. Esther George was on the hawkish side, whereas Kaplan was much more dovish. So it's going to be very important what Yellen will say regarding the US economy and inflationary pressures there. But overall, we're not expecting anything too major from Yellen.
And also Draghi, the ECB president, will be talking at the event. His speech will take place after Yellen's. He's also not, based on the signaling we've had so far, he's not expected to share anything market sensitive, anything on monetary policy. And with Draghi and continuing with the Eurozone, this week, Rafi, we saw the release of some PMI numbers. Overall, they drew a positive picture for the Euro. They allowed it to record some gains relative to both the dollar and sterling, most notably sterling. It rose to a 10.5-month high, and this is an 8-year high if one were to exclude the sterling flash crash that took place in October of last year. Specifically, it rose to 0.9236. Continuing with the UK, this week we had the second release of second quarter GDP numbers. They came in as expected, but if one were to look at the details underpinning the numbers, the picture was not positive. Also this week we had some developments on the Brexit front. What's your take on that, Rafi?
Right, so regarding the GDP, yeah, the details weren't very positive. We saw household spending rise by just 0.1% over the quarter. Business investment was flat. So that does paint a rather bleak picture for the UK economy, at least for this year. We are seeing businesses being hurt more and more by the uncertainty about what kind of relationship the UK will have with the rest of the European Union once it leaves. And we did see more Brexit papers being published by the UK government. Like you said, we had some last week. We had much more clarity this week being added to what the UK government is seeking in terms of a post-Brexit relationship. However, critics have said that those papers don't provide enough details, and the European Union is also with the same view that the UK government needs to give much more details on what it wants. But having said that, at least it has created a little bit more certainty regarding what we will likely see in terms of a post-Brexit relationship. But the pound hasn't really benefited much from those Brexit papers. It was a 2-month low against the dollar, and you said it was 10 months low against the euro. So investors aren't convinced yet that the UK government is doing enough in terms of speeding up the Brexit negotiations.
Interesting, Rafi. And I know that you've been also taking a look at the main events for next week, and would like to hear what you have to say on that.
Well, the highlight for next week will, of course, be In the United States, we've got the non-farm payrolls for August coming up next Friday. We're going to have a number of other key data such as personal consumption expenditure, second estimate of GDP growth, and the ISM manufacturing PMI. We're going to see some data out of Japan as well in terms of household spending, industrial output, and unemployment. Out of the Eurozone, the focus will be on the flash CPI estimate, and in Australia we're going to have the capital expenditure for the second quarter. That should give some sign in terms of how the GDP overall grew in the second quarter, which are out the following week.
Thank you very much for your insights, Rafi. Thank you everyone for watching, and have a great day.